are going to bring to you CHA1N and SIB. I'm 40 Lions, joined by the one and only ZSX. Dan, CHA1N versus SIB. We don't really understand how we got here. We were looking at the brackets like, wait a minute, but I mean, it is what it is.
We're here, yeah. We're here, and it's back to the NA side. SIB going up after getting knocked down, but he has made his place in the QPL, convincingly so at that. And he has a fairly eccentric playstyle. CHA1N looked pretty decent going up against Cypher, but just was unable to edge it in the end. Really unfortunate, but he looks back on form. We just saw how good Cypher was playing, so you know, CHA1N's right back in good form.
It's going to be Veil, Molten, Corrupted, Keep, and for CHA1N it's going to be Sorlag, Anarchy, BJ. On SIB side, Keel, Galena, DK. So I feel like the picks might favor SIB just a little bit.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit, but Veil is a CHA1N stronghold. That's where he beat Cypher on. He very rarely actually loses that map. He knows it inside out, and as we always say with a lot of players, but again, CHA1N's one of these, if his rail starts connecting, he's probably going to win fairly convincingly.
If you hit your shots, you're going to win. But we're live right now. Lower bracket action, best of 3. Again, the loser is done for the entire weekend. The tournament is over here. It's both players battling it out, trying to make the glorious run through lowers. Big stacks here. Big rockets from CHA1N. He's not going to follow up. He knows that it's very dangerous going through that telly with a stacked keel and those pineapples, but good opening damage from CHA1N.
Battle of the heavies. Slightly favor Sorlag. Well, actually pretty even. Maybe slightly favor Keel. Depends on a couple of factors. Depends how many pineapples you can hit. But either way, Battle of the Heavies is always fun to watch. Bit of a mess, but CHA1N doesn't like to play in chaos. He prefers to control the game, play slower, play methodical. And as you said, some really good opening damage. Great use of the Tri-Bolt so far. Big rocket from SIB trying to defend desperately this heavy, but CHA1N is desperate to make himself heard. Moving in on the lower ground, lots of damage. Actually, how is SIB so low from all of that spam? I don't know, but he is, and he's even going to go down, but no, the retaliation rocket is huge. He's a little bit stuck. Can he hit an extra little bit of damage before he dies? Unfortunately not. So here we go.
Very slippery there, CHA1N. I'd expected to take at least another rail, but since he didn't, that leaves him relatively healthy to just run this map now.
And that's exactly what you don't want in this type of engagement, to leave your opponent healthy. It should be a bit of a brawl, the bloodbath, and it's not the end of the world if you die. You just want to make sure your opponent is low enough that you can run back at them very easily.
SIB doing a good job of hitting those initial rails, but he needs to be careful. The rocket right on point from CHA1N. What a rocket jump too. Make it through the telly there, and the split between the items in favor of CHA1N as he can casually grab this mega into the 50, into the heavy. It might be a nightmare for SIB. Missing with that opening rail, needs to find some damage. Good on the follow-up as he goes up to the 3rd floor, drops back down. A little bit of a mind game here. Where is CHA1N gonna go? But he hears those boots, and he's gonna float SIB as he drops down on the pineapple into rail combo, saves his life, ties it at 1.
The burst damage, double pineapple rocket rail combo. I don't even want to know how much damage that was. SIB connecting with all of the shots so far, hitting a lot of rail, which is keeping him in this game because the pressure from below and the efficiency from CHA1N is good. He does go down here relatively low, but there's a light, there's a mega, and there's a heavy in all but 5 seconds. SIB will only have a rail to work with, so what can he do with this? The answer is enough.
Does take some tick, but yeah, CHA1N would have rather bullied SIB off of that heavy, but nothing doing as Keel, big boy, and that machine gun was ripping CHA1N apart, so you have to be careful on the engagement there.
SIB looking
to try and get the spit back up, which is very important.
Yeah, and SIB looking good for what it's worth so far in this duel, keeping it very close, got full control now. And honestly, CHA1N is struggling to have his presence on the map. He's relegated to these lower channels, catacombs, and not connecting with the rails we would like him and expect him to. So SIB is making full use of that in playing the map, keeping this positioning strong on the high ground. Just got to be careful not to absorb too much of that Tri-Bolt spam, this spit, because it all adds up.
Yeah, the dot damage, absolutely, just super painful. Definitely need to be able to position around health items and be ready to mitigate that at a moment's notice here. Is CHA1N doing a good job of using everything at his disposal. But as you said, just completely relegated to the lower areas of the map and has to make do with all these scraps.
Yeah, and he is living off scraps. First rail is big from SIB, the second one doesn't connect, but nor does the rocket from Chain. He's back down on this low ground, not going to be pushed on through. Map awareness is good, he has an exit and a TP if he needs it, but he's sticking around, he might have been booped off. No, it doesn't matter. Cleaned up with the rail and SIB ties it up and is looking really good. He is actually controlling the tempo and controlling the positions. Another rail mitigating the pickup there from Chain. And he's really struggling. 25% rail is a big decider considering SIB is nearly on 60%.
So looking really good. You kind of want to say, wow, stark contrast from the game against Razy, but I mean, Razy is a different beast entirely, so.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't really say that game against Razy is indicative of SIB's skill level at all, as Chain, again, relegated to the lower ground. SIB able to take the Mega and the 50 shard and make his way over to the Heavy, but a little bit too late. So, bit of an opening for Chain as he stacks that armor and gets nice and thick. Halfway through, tied at 2.
Yep, and then pressure's a bit more on Chain now. His strategy's not been working out, so how is he going to change that up? That's a good start. He knows he got the initial damage that SIB will be relatively weak, trying to push through, but the pineapples and the rockets are scary as a full rocket connects. The light is up, and another point of contest. SIB wins it out for now, but the rail denied.
Chain hits another one off the spawn as well. He wants this 25, and SIB is going to ride the lightning, needs to be careful. Is he going to keep putting pressure on this Heavy? No. Chain's going to be able to grab 225s and actually put pressure on the Mega. There's a little bit of spit to try and punish the pickup. Looks like none of it will connect, but he will be able to back out onto this Heavy, hopefully, as SIB needs to think twice before, again, dropping onto this LG. He goes through the telly, but he eats rockets instead. Chain just knows exactly where SIB wants to be.
Yeah, a little bit predictable from SIB there, and Chain read him like a book. Suddenly that nice 2-2 has become a messy 4-2 for Chain, who's begun to connecting with his rails and started to understand what SIB is doing. Not absorbing as much of the damage as he was earlier in the game, and he's quite happy to let SIB run the items and just play safe now.
Almost getting a rail on that Heavy pickup. Chain already kind of defaulting to this passive game, doesn't want to put any pressure on, knew that SIB had position and almost cut him off in the LG there. Oh, and he swipes the Mega with that delay. That was a really good play, but he misses with the rail and SIB doesn't, so Chain, after all that, so extremely weak, and here comes the play from SIB, converts on that frag.
Right before the Heavy as well. Chain's going to push in, he's going to take the fight. SIB's quite low. Doesn't connect to the rail, he should be going down, but no, the pineapple from behind boats Chain away from the item, but he will get an easy enough frag. Up to 5 seconds before the next item. Luckily SIB gets the lightning, I suppose, can barrel on through, but some big rockets from Chain means SIB has to retreat to the rail room with his tail between his legs.
Chain just so good off the spawn, really good, well-placed rockets there. Not enough to get the frag, but enough to deter any kind of forward momentum and aggression from SIB. Ooh, he can't dodge all those pineapples. The splash damage is going to add up as SIB able to claim that Heavy, and that's going to be important moving forward. A little bit over 2 minutes remaining as he tries to trap him out near this armor shard here. A little bit of a pineapple jump for Chain. He didn't want that at all, and can he finish it? SIB with the LG puts his stamp on it here. Down 1.
But Chain gets the Mega spawn, we're able to pick up a lightning gun, pick up the rocket, exactly what he needs to contest this next Mega, this next Heavy, sorry. Pain from above as SIB belts him around, he actually ties it up, but that was a clean enough frag. Heavy comes and spawns, SIB now just needs to retreat and try and defend his Mega, and if he does, in a really good position. Rail misses from Chain, so does the second. No need to take this fight if you're SIB, you can just push on back, pick up the Mega, but no, Chain says hi, but he actually doesn't get it. Oh my word. He's now going to go down for another one. A big rocket coming out from Chain. 2 frags in 1 minute against a Heavy. Chain might have just lost his first map.
That's as good as it gets, and somehow SIB threads that needle, hits that rail off the spawn, and Chain in a really bad way here. He's going to dive in on the LG, and he needs to push.
I don't know why he made that push. It was so unnecessary. SIB, though, taking a lot of damage himself, and there's still a minute to go. Chain, with the speed of Sorlag, just needs to find SIB. He knows exactly where he is. Chain just needs to delay, try and do some damage of himself. There's no way he's getting out of here. But that big rocket and the combos did a lot of damage to Chain.
This is plenty of time, though, on something like Veil, especially with the Sorlag against Akil. It's going to be all about the defensive play in terms of mechanics from SIB. The LG already so strong from up above, and now he's playing the perfect position. Oh, what a rocket!
What a rocket!
Is it enough, though, Dan? Less than 20 seconds, SIB just has to play. Stay away, and he can't do it. He's going to get stuck up the jump pad. Chain, is he going to go up? It's going to be suicide. The Pineapples are going to deny him any kind of entry, and SIB may have just made his escape with map number 1.
Bum block this from coming up the jump pad? What the F just happened? But somehow, Chain for me through that. I mean, it was on the balance, but still, there was zero reason to go aggro onto that Mega. It is stamina as much as skill that will win you the title if you can do that.
Absolutely. All about the stamina. I mean, hopping in and out of the game. You know, you got a
don't know much about
hard, arduous... What are we talking about? Anyways, SIB is going to start off on the DK on the Mega spawn, grabs the 50 shard, makes his way over to the Rockets, and he's already got everything he needs, especially with that Flame Strike, to do big, big damage.
Big damage indeed. We're going to have a mid-range engagement here with some splash damage from the Tribot. Rockets coming out. Chain trying to defend this heavy with a nail gun and a shotgun and a dream. And SIB's going to say, sure, you can do that. I'll just run the rest of the map.
Little bit of Tribot there from Chain. I'm just waiting on this first Flame Strike to really set the tone. See exactly where SIB tries to trap and pop it here. Is Chain doing a good job grabbing that heavy, maintaining items early and not giving up anything too crazy, not going for any big damage and risking it all. Very tempered right now.
Yep, and this is a map that will decide the fate of both of these players, and so the pressure and the stakes are so much higher. SIB jumping through the doorway, catching Chain off guard, bouncing him actually to Chain's favor, away from the tracking and the lightning gun. He doesn't even manage to get the frag. Chain doubles back. Really macho play there, smart and big brain. SIB comes back and pins him to the wall and says, no, do not get away this time.
Yeah, so Chain almost survived, and then SIB's like, absolutely not. Able to rotate back and get that heavy as well. The shotgun won't be able to end Chain, but he is very, very weak. The passive heals him back up to about 75 HP. He's going to be able to grab one health bubble, but no armor in sight, and SIB is on the hunt with the Flame Strike and the shotgun. The defensive rocket, decent enough to pop SIB around, make him think twice before aggressing any further.
SIB looking good so far, nice and healthy. Chain struggling a little bit, definitely needs to get himself a lightning gun, but last time he did that, he might have PTSD. He goes through now, but then SIB again doesn't actually hear him until the last second, so he does get away. Lots of time between major items. This is a good window of opportunity for SIB to press the aggression button, and that's what he's doing.
SIB doing a good job of maintaining control in the middle of the map. Does need a little bit of Tribal there with the stack. Not too bad, although after that second set, a little bit worse for wear, but oh look, a Mega stacks right back up.
Yeah. So when you have that window of 20, 30 seconds or so between the major items, that's when you want to go out and bully your opponents. So A, you can either take damage and fall back into a major item, and B, do enough damage for them where they cannot challenge that.
Oh, and the Tribal dual wield. Not going to be enough for Chain, and Chain, the defensive rocket's trying to save his life, and actually enough to do so. It looks like he needs to be careful. He wants to force his way onto the Mega, but the Flame Strike won't allow it, and the LG picks him out of the sky. And yeah, Chain just going kind of all in on this situation, like, I need to be able to get this item. This is the rest of the game right here, when really it's not that dire yet. He shouldn't have put himself in that position.
It's going to be just in time for this heavy. I thought he had mistimed it, would be a bit late, but he does get round in time. The big hooves of Death Knight forcing him around, and Chain is on the ropes. He's got no weapons, no items. And SIB is smelling blood at this point, but this is the exact same situation we said on the last map, and Chain stabilized and got back into it. So SIB needs to continue this momentum, not make mistakes. And where did Chain go?
He's gone. Just like that, he's vanished, Dan. He's off the map into another server, banished into the Shadow Realm, it appears. As SIB using that Flame Strike, punishing the Mega. It was nothing but an oasis to Chain. Big old pile of maple syrup.
Yeah, that was cool. And Chain is on the rope. SIB railing the items. Chain goes the wrong way, doesn't get the heavy, but he actually runs into a wild SIB who's actually in the wrong place of the map, and Chain's like, okay, I will take the heavy then if you really don't want it. But no, he gets pinned! Oh, that hurts.
That was a beautiful weapon choice from SIB to push him into the wall, delay him, make sure he doesn't get across that threshold to steal away that heavy. And SIB is playing this wonderfully. 5-0. Chain hasn't even really pressured, not even broken 1,000 damage yet. Item control is weak at best, 2 heavies and 1 mega. It's just not going Chain's way right now. SIB, complete domination on Corrupted Keep.
Duel's come out completely null and void. He's there for the heavy again, but SIB this time is late for the item and eats a full rocket for his troubles. So here's a big opportunity for Chain, but without the lightning gun, he's a little bit trapped and just this trying to get out unscathed. SIB is patrolling the high ground. He's taken a lot of damage himself, so needs to be careful. A single rocket might be enough to bounce him off to his doom, which this could happen, but no, he takes the. At least he takes the item for SIB.
But SIB right back in it. Almost chains together some frags, but Chain had to work so hard for that first, and now it's just a full reset again. 5 frags ahead. And a little bit of an ESPN update. Zanaku just tied the series with the hangover on the A stream, if that's what interests you. But SIB, over here on the B stream, looking like he's going to be able to take this over Chain unless Chain stabilizes, starts to take control and assert his dominance as we saw on Molten Falls. But this map a little bit different. No rail in play, and it's all about good rockets, good LG, good machine gun, and as we said, really good LG. Both players weak, and Chain, instead of trying to fight, just trying to escape, and SIB just shoots him in the back for free.
Chain running around like a bit like a headless chicken. Doesn't feel like he has a plan at the moment. SIB's the one dictating the tempo. SIB's the one making the moves and being proactive. It seems very reactionary from Chain. That's a big rocket, though. SIB not hearing his opponent, and actually will go down relatively easy. Again, a nice rocket to finish him up, but Chain now has 4 minutes to forge a comeback. He can't let anything slip.
Through the fire and flames, through the tri-bolt as well, but Chain makes it work. Does take some good damage. SIB maximizing that using the flame strike, but now again Chain relatively healthy. Mega's going to be up soon, but he is going to give up the heavy. And just knowing that the flame strike is gone, he has to go full aggro, really, just given the time. 3.5 minutes left for 4 frags. Maybe not full aggro, but definitely press forward more than he has been.
And on the flip side, this is where the experience and balls of SIB will show. If he starts returtling, he will lose this game, guaranteed. He needs to be as proactive as he's been for the last 6 minutes of the game, keep in Chain's face and not let him snowball.
This heavy is going to be the next item up. Dual wield out to punish SIB, and instead of going for the heavy, it looks like he's dropping down and almost steals it. Can he do it? And he does. That is huge, Dan.
That is huge, and I also thought Chain was going to get knocked off, which is why I held my breath, but he doesn't. It's still huge for him to get the item, so he means he can take this context, goes through the air, doesn't get the frag, but Chain is also relatively weak. Probably too weak to push in aggressively here as SIB is just again up on the high ground, and Chain is struggling to catch his opponent. We've just lost another minute of game time without a frag.
Chain does bully SIB off of the Mega, but actually the double back, is he going to make it in time? The rocket jumps aren't going to save Chain, and in fact SIB will get the frag.
It's GG. There's no way back now, and SIB will knock out Chain and progress in the lower bracket. I'm well deserved at that. He really could have won map 2. Chain looked off his game to me a little bit for whatever reason that is, or maybe not trying to disrespect SIB. Maybe that's not the case and SIB just played well and rattled him, but either way, SIB deserves this victory.
Yeah, really well done from SIB Vicious in the Quake Pro League, here to stay. He's not superstitious at all, but yeah, Chain. I mean,
there is time, but I don't see a way back for Chain.
I don't think so. 5 frags in less than 2 minutes. It has to be absolutely perfect. And with that flame strike, I wouldn't say. Yeah, there it is. See, Oh, he hit him with the Liptons. He hit him with the Liptons, Dan. It's tea time.
Yeah, GG.
I don't know. It's been a long day. You fancy a cuppa? No, is that not what you say? All right. I just want to try and make you proud, Papa.
Can't do that.
Oh. Nobody can let you down better than I can as SIB excels in the third map and through the lower bracket, knocking off CHA1N. CHA1N's going to have to sit on the sidelines and watch the rest of the Stage 2 finals from the comfort of his own home. And SIB's got to be feeling good. This is going to build some confidence. He's got Nosfa next on the menu. Conversely, Nosfa has to, be watching this and think, all right, might have my work cut out for me here as SIB came to play.
Yeah, I'm sure CHA1N will be frustrated, kind of going backwards in terms of results from that amazing Stage 2 this time last year. But it wasn't his event, wasn't his day. Great performance versus Cypher. Probably should have won it, in all honesty, in context. But this game, no, this was definitely SIB's victory.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you want to play that game of, what if CHA1N hits that rail against Cypher, he goes up against Razy in the upper bracket, maybe everything is different. But, as the great philosopher once said, if the queen had balls, she'd be king, Dan.
Yep.
Let that breathe for a little bit. All right, that's okay.
Yep.
I don't regret a thing. As, 14-5, SIB takes map number 3. And quite the performance from SIB. CHA1N's got to be upset about that.